All right, we're back expanding on the whole idea of power chords, and today we're going to use a third on top of a basic 5-chord or power chord. Let's start with a G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then my octave on top, giving me a 3-note power chord. Well, it's a 2-note power chord, except I'm just repeating the octave, right? Articulating 3 notes. Okay. So there's my G power chord, and of course I can do the same power chord as a C power chord. Exactly the same shape because the bottom 4 strings are tuned exactly the same. All right. Now. Here's a cool way to think of power chords and add a third on top of the power chord. As you know, a third will define whether a chord is major or minor. If we add the third in, all of a sudden the chord is going to be either a major chord or a minor chord. And today we're going to play 2 different versions of a major chord and a minor chord, thinking of the 5 as the platform for doing that, the power chord, okay? Now I'm going to count through the major scale of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or root 1. 1, 2, 3. There's my 3 in the G in the scale of G. 3. All right. I want to add that 3 into the G chord to make it a G major chord. But I want to do it on top of my G power chord. Add the 3. It's still a 4-note chord. I'm not using any of the other notes. So it's not a full bar chord like this, right? But it is the same notes as that full bar chord. That full bar chord tends to start to get like a little too much in certain contexts, and this is this is definitely one of them. So think of this as just the bottom 4 strings, right? Power chord, adding the 3. Now what happens if we do the same thing with the C chord? And I'm just going to add that note right there on the 2nd string. It's going to be the same, right? No, it's not. It's not going to be the same because of the tuning of that 2nd string. So because the 2nd string is tuned a semitone lower than the others, I'm going to have this interval, which is this shape here, which gives me a major chord. If I move exactly that same shape to the inside 4 strings, I'm not going to have a major chord, I'm going to have a minor chord. Now, if I start moving this around, let's say I'm doing a simple progression like that. If I want to define that chord just a little bit further, I can just add my second finger in this case. So in this case, I'm doing a 1 to a 4 progression. And there's always that danger with using thirds with really distorted sounds. And for instance, here we go, 1. So in that case, I'm just, again, that's a 1, 6, 4, 5 chord progression. 1, 5. 6, 4. So as you can see, what I did there on the E power chord is I just added that third up on top. And then went back down to a power chord there. So I can always take that second finger and just define major chords and minor chords with my thirds in a really, really simple way without having to do these full versions of bar chords. For a lot of you, this will be a really happy discovery, right? Because you can stay away from that rather often uncomfortable bar that you have to drag around with your first finger. So one more time, here's my G, and there's my 3 on top. And here's my E with my, right? With my, in this case, a G note on top or the minor third. So try that out. Work it around the fretboard and keep in mind that the third here on the bottom 4 strings is going to be a major chord, and the third here on the middle 4 strings is going to be a minor.